I'm so happy. Listen, I know that on this channel I have made a plethora of little guys. Time to evolve. What does that mean? Becoming the little guy. My body is ready. Let me tell you what kicked this off. Number one, a not so healthy dose of existentialism. I finally watched the DVD that I bought years and years ago, Tales of Beatrix Potter. People in big animal suits. I put it on when I was having a rough day, and I gotta tell you, I was enthralled. I was like a kid with a tablet playing Bluey at a public restaurant. It's been a minute since I've done just a stupid, cursed costume. Although, within the ballet, I had some options. There is this absolute sassy diva. Swipe or no swiping. These two mice that are rampaging, going full office space on this dollhouse furniture. Or our boy, Jeremy Fisher. It fills me with so much joy. And so I thought, that's the one. I don't think you're ready. Also, if you have a frog phobia, I'll see you in the next one. Let's just get into it, okay? Let's go. All right, kiddos, in order for me to take the next step in my evolutionary journey, we should do a little costume breakdown. So we've obviously got the giant frog mask. We've got a waistcoat with painted flowers on it, a little coat, and some breeches. The mask I will be making out of EVA foam, and as far as the outfit, I want to go full thrifted on this. So with that, let's head to the thrift store. Righto, we are at thrift store number 1, possibly only one, but we'll see. What I'm looking for is material to make the jacket, the vest, and the pants. Don't quite mind shifting the color scheme a little. That coat color is such a specific pink peach that I doubt I'm gonna find something exact. We're gonna give it a shot though. I haven't been to the thrift store in like 6 months. It's good to be back, baby. All right, let's go. It is a truth universally acknowledged that the thrift gods were present at my side on this day. Not only did I find the perfect material for the coat, but right next to it was this striped bedsheet, which was perfect for the pants. I made out like a bandit. I'm gooped. Let's get started on this bad boy. Before we do that though, this video is sponsored, so to talk about that and my favorite thing in the universe, here's sponsor Rachel. Pop quiz. What do I love just as much, if not more, than tiny animals wearing human clothes? That's right. Bread. It's my love language, which is why I'm so excited to have a returning sponsor, Wild Grain. Wild Grain is the first Bake from Frozen subscription box featuring their sourdough loaves, artisanal pastries, and pastas. And I gotta tell you, it is my new favorite thing in the entire world. It is as easy as building your box on the website. There are so many delicious options. Then it gets sent to you all frozen. Stick it in your freezer, pop it in your oven whenever you're ready to make them. This time around, I got, of course, croissants, chocolate croissants, a sourdough loaf, waffles, and blueberry donuts. Being able to literally just pop those things in the oven, it came in so clutch. Blueberry donuts I brought to my sister's house, and I am still thinking about them. Insanely easy. And to prove that, let's make some croissants, shall we? They also have different boxes that you can choose from between variety, gluten-free, vegan, and new protein boxes. Also, with every box ordered, donate 2 meals to a food security nonprofit of your choice at no cost. So my friends, that is Wild Grain. If you would like to check them out and start baking for yourself, you can head to the link in my description and make sure you use my code for $30 off of your first box and free croissants for life. Thank you so much, Wild Grain, for sponsoring this video. And this just in, we have a special news report from Nature Rachel. Over to her. Thank you, sponsor Rachel. I've got a couple of quick, important updates. Look it. Oh. That's nice. That does it for me, folks. let's talk construction. I've done some research on how they made the masks from the 1970s ballet. They would sculpt the entire mask, vacuum-formed plastic on top of that. Slight trypophobia warning here. Thousands of teeny tiny little holes were put in the mask right around here so that the actor could see. And then using electrostatic and flocking, they would put the fur on top of the mask. Not a lot of information on how the frog mask was made, but if I did a little bit of, you know, enhance, you can see those thousands of teeny tiny little holes. Because the masks are something that you would see from very far away, those little holes didn't really matter. Don't really want to do that because, to be honest, it kind of grosses me out as well. I want like close-up shots of this mask. I need to get a little creative about how I'm going to be able to see in this mask, but that's a problem for future Rachel. Right now, I'm just going to focus on the actual construction of the mask. A teeny little model base out of tin foil. I'm gonna wrap that in plastic wrap, then with tape, and then I'm gonna make pattern pieces. Cut those out from the form, enlarge them to the ratio that I want. That's the plan anyway. It makes sense in the old noodle, so we're gonna give it a shot. So I don't think this needs to be super detailed. Make just that really, really basic shape, and anything else we can add on top of it with some foam clay. I've got my sketches that I did, tin foil, and sheer determination. Sprinkle of delusion. This next step is not gonna win me any awards from the ASMR community.
3 weeks later.
All right, that took forever. But this is kind of the shape I'm thinking. Numbering these pieces is very important. For example, you can't forget 4 and also 4. I don't know. With any pattern piece, it's important to put in registration marks so that when you go to try to match them up later, it makes sense. All right, now somehow this is going to make a frog, I think. Did I get this right? Did I do 4 twice? Sure did. Once glue is added to both surfaces, you can match up those registration marks and it starts to take a 3-dimensional shape, which always blows my mind. Prototype. Looking quite, upside down. Looking quite froggy. We need to scale this up. All right, well, so if I want this, probably want this twice as big. This is 10 inches. Perfectly. Would you look at that? Okay, this is very scientific, right? This big. This is not working. Wait, hold on. Let her cook. And I go down like that. It says 26. God. Be so big. That's too big, right? That's too big. 2.5 times bigger. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scan these in, pump them up 250%, and then print them out. Yeah? I don't know. You're looking at me like I know, but I don't. After tracing these over with a mouse, which was not my finest moment, I brought it over to Acrobat, tiled it, and printed it at 250%. All right, whew. Let's transfer this onto foam. This was all going rather swimmingly until I ran out of foam, so cue the next day. I had to go to 2 different job lots, but Package is secured. I got some exercise mats. The older woman at Job Lot said I looked sharp, and I said, thanks. She asked what I did for a living, and I said, YouTuber. To which she was quite confused. That's all I had left to do on foam, but I ran out. So this is very good in a pinch. Not for actual exercising. God, no. Anti-fatigue. So hopefully it will fix everything that's wrong with me.
My mask is at the workshop currently, so I decided to do all the gluing outside because I don't need any more blindage. Doing the same thing I did with the prototype here, just on a bigger scale, and it was all quite exciting.
Alright, keep in mind this is only one side. Is this too big? It's giving Gullah Gullah Island. Like I probably should have done 200%. I'm gonna make the other half and then see. Okay. Got my 2 halves.
I may have gone too big.
What have I done? This is huge! Whoopsie! V2. It's fine. I actually love wasting time. Need more headroom here. Yeah. Ready? Actually, I have no idea how that looks. Eye holes might be something that I should probably figure out, huh? By Job, I think this might be it. I'm calling this size good. There's a lot more finishing work that needs to happen because these seams are atrocious. That's a problem for a different day. Right now, I've got a mandatory walk with my healing dog.
Making his way downtown, walking fast, faces past his homebound.
Good morning. Forgive my disheveled appearance. Little Pip is not feeling too hot. Up on and off since like 2 in the morning. And I'm out of dry shampoo. So for now, I'm just gonna look like I just discovered time travel. Party! What we need to do today. The eyelids, the eyes, the mouth details, a big old jug of foam clay. One of my favorite things in this universe. I also have these gigantic Christmas baubles. Hey, this would have been helpful for my Zendaya armor. Oh well. These are probably gonna be a good size once I like set them into the foam and then add eyelids. Oh, I'm very excited. I've never been a frog before. Ow.
For the eye holes for which to see, I decided to just cut out giant chunks and then disguise that by putting a mesh fabric over it. So I just hot glued the edges and stuck that mesh on there and trimmed off the excess.
Not bad at all.
Then came the foam clay, which if you've never worked with it before, it is a little bit difficult at first. It's very lumpy bumpy, so my goal here was just slapping it onto the material and then we can refine later on. Using some water, you can smooth it down a bit, but it's still not perfect.
Okay. Here you so far. I am gonna let this set for a little bit so I can kind of add more on top of it. Not that watching this just dry wouldn't be riveting. Truly unforgettable. And then I can hop to it.
Several bad puns later.
Hello. In order to finish the details on this bad boy, I need to smoothen it out a bit. It's quite ugly right now. I'm at the hardware store. I'm gonna go get Quick Seal, which you might have seen me use before. Don't look at me. Just a girl talking to her camera in the parking lot. In order to blend the edges of the foam clay to the clay. While I do that, please enjoy some footage of Pip last night, her first encounter with a toad friend. Enjoy. I'll be right back. right, we're back home. Did you like? So cute. Is it like a universally felt feeling for crafters when you actually make something that's good? That you're like, here it is, so far. I'm so happy. Oh. Huzzah!
I was mainly focusing that quick seal on the very rough transition bits. So I kind of just globbed it on, and then you can take water and start smoothing it out. I also added some around the edges of the eye hole just to make them smaller and blend in a little bit more with the face.
It's the worst part of any project. You're gonna get on my level, Pip. Sewing time. These are the fabrics that you got a little sneaky peeky. For the jacket, for the pants, these curtains, which I've been trying to avoid using linen-esque curtains recently because it frays so much, but this is all I could find. This is for the vest. We're gonna have to get a little creative with altering the pattern for that. He's got a lovely little roly-poly tummy. Whoop. Speaking of pattern, I'm hoping we can go all in one here. A McCall's pattern, and I think we can just about modify all of these. Cut it like this, and then the pants only are gonna go up to about here, and then the vest just needs to be a smidgen more round. Don't eat that. What is it? Why do you eat everything? She's really living up to her name, because she truly is a toque. You know the drill. Okay, let's do it.
I started to realize maybe cutting these patterns with 2 dogs present is not the smartest idea, but I like to live life on the edge. Ooh, what a rush.
All right, let's talk it out. We got vest, pants, and jacket. I'm going to start, I think, on the coat because that is the most complicated one. Who let me do this? Was it you? Why'd you let me do this?
For those of you tearing your hair out follicle by follicle, screaming into your computer screen that I need to iron the fabric before I start working with it, yes.
Whew, all right. Now we need to pin them together and try it on. Oh, careful. That's not bad. I'm gonna start sewing.
Time passed, and eventually I added the collar and the front facing, but then it was time to crop it like his. This may be a waste of fabric, but this is the only way that my brain can kind of make sense of altering this. Then it was time for pattern number 2, the trousers. Thankfully it had a built-in marking of where you could shorten it, so I did that and tried to make the stripes line up the best that I could.
Wow. I think the legs can go even tighter actually. That, you know? Yeah. Oh, I'm tired of sewing.
I was indeed very tired of sewing, so while I sit and enjoy the outside with my boy, let me catch you up on the progress I made on the mask. The previous night, I had used this product, which is Flex Bond. This is similar to Mod Podge, but a little thicker, so what it's going to do is going to seal the foam, but also seal in some of those lumpy bits and form a nice gloss protective layer. Also, I would like you to know, during the entirety of this project, the toads in our frog pond were going absolutely hog wild, which is really a comforting sound to me, considering the translation of it is basically, "Hey baby, come over
Pretty
here.
lady, come on over here.
Oh, woo, you want some fries with that shake?" Then for yet another layer of sealing, I'm taking Plasti Dip and going over that, not only to make it a little bit less bumpy, but also painting on top of that Flex Bond is kind of difficult, so this gives it like a nice matte surface to stick to. Those frogs are really going at it. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Righto. Freshly Plasti Dipped and ready for painting. It was quite hard to figure out the actual color of this mask. Pretty much any screenshot you find online of the 70s ballet has some sort of like weird color grading. So I did some research myself, booted it up. The footage is potato-esque. I'm gonna try to match the colors as best as I can, but it might kind of just be my own interpretation. This sample that I got, I think, what did I get this for? I don't know. Is a pretty decent start. Some greens and yellows in there. Gonna cover it all in one color for now. Let's go. Oh God. While the paint was still a little bit wet, I went in and added all of the brown gradients that he has. Who needs a fancy airbrush when you've got a perfectly good set of phalanges? Welcome to the last day! It feels like I've been working on this project for 37 years. A handy dandy checklist. We gotta work on the vest, the construction, painting, and then adding all of the buttons. Switching back over to the head, I need to finish painting because I did decide that the eye holes were a little too big. The more I looked at it, the more it reminded me of, there's like a very specific moment in SpongeBob when he like sniffs, like really nostrils get like really huge. It felt like that. I did attempt with some quick seal to make the holes a little bit smaller. I need to paint the eye holes, add a clear coat so that's a little bit more shiny, attach it to a bicycle helmet. I need to paint the gloves, which, woohoo, I'll show you. Glue the collar onto the bottom of the mask, finish up the coat. So, as you can see, I have my little tum-tum here. Normally, I would just like saran wrap this and make a pattern myself. Whereas we already kind of have the pattern, I just need to like extend it. Take some parchment paper, and I go like that. Draw out the extension. The armholes go over a little bit, extended this way. And then we add a dart at the bottom to like scoop it all in. You ready, team? Ribbon on 3. 1, 2, 3. Ribbon. Too much. So I'm just gonna trim probably to about here. And then once we get all the darts all in the seams, I think it's gonna look quite lovely. Oh, this is warm. Right, okay. Woo! Oh! I really did try to be that girl that wears cute outfits while she sews, but I was gonna have a heat stroke and I couldn't hang, so. We have the vest pieces, lining, outer layer, a little bit of front facing, and the collar. It's all inside out and attached except for here, which I learned by reading the instructions for once. So that way we can turn this all inside out. Here, pull the front sections out. Did I do it? Yeah, all right. Back onto the mannequin. After putting it on the mannequin inside out, I was able to put in the darts that I wanted and also complete the blood ritual. Did I get blood all over it? No! Which led to just inexcusable expletives. God dang it! Let's make this vest whimsical as hell. To do that, I just sketched out the little flower patterns and then just straight up painted it on there. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, the little Kylo Ren that lives in my head was a little insatiable. But I couldn't find a good way to fit more in there without it looking weird, so I just kind of ignored him for now. Hey, real quick, you want to see the worst thing known to man?
Ooh! Razzle dazzle. Razzle dazzle. Oh, come on now. As you can see, these are hot dog gloves, right? Why you gotta have a little hot dog butthole on these? I'm gonna try to sand those off, I think. Ultimately not a huge deal, but also makes me want to throw up. What do you think? You like? I hate them, but I love them. But I hate them.
So I got to work sanding off those little hot dog bum holes. Not a sentence I ever thought I would say. Life's funny, isn't it? Yeah. To attach the helmet to the mask, I used some spray foam, which worked surprisingly well. Alright. And with that, my friends, I think it is just about time to assume my final form.
Oh, it's done. Let's put this mask on. He's a little wet. Goes on pretty easy. Snap in the helmet, find my gloves. Visibility, I would give a 5 out of 10. You know what's ironic about this is that I've had a lifelong fear of like mascot characters. I don't like it. I don't like not knowing. And yet, we're confronting our fears today. This might be the coolest thing I've ever made. At least like my happiness level with it feels so stinking cute. Wrap up. What went well? What didn't go well? I'm very expressive with these hot dog fingers. Overall, so proud of myself, which doesn't happen often. But the fact that I made this entire outfit in a few days is wild. And not the smartest decision I've ever made. I actually really liked the pants. I didn't think that I would. The vest is very specific to this costume, but I think that it came out really stinking cute. Probably could have made these darts even more dramatic because it overhangs a little where I wanted it to go like that. I'm missing some of the details, like the pockets on the vest, the little chain, pockets on the jacket, but the coat I think is really cute. And then that just leaves the head. I still have a little bit of a problem with the eye holes kind of looking like second pair of eyes. If you look at it too long, it kind of looks like toothless. you know, at quick glance, and if this was on stage, you wouldn't even be able to tell. I'm glad that I made them smaller. In the right light, you can't really see it because this is kind of where shadows cast. Quite happy with the shape. I think it kind of looks like an alien from the back. He's like a little flat, but this was a massive undertaking and I'm not going to be too hard on myself. Still look at this and I'm like, I can't believe I did that. So that's a good sign. I'm just really happy. I like being a frog. This is my new form, guys. I'm not taking this off, actually. My hopping, though, could use some work. The footage is quite humbling, but hey, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Ew, sweaty. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun. Once again, thank you so much, Wildgren, for sponsoring this video. I might actually make those chocolate croissants right now. Mama deserves it. If you would like $30 off of your first box, use the code RachelMaksy and also free croissants for life. I love you so very much. If you're new here and you feel like sticking around, feel free to subscribe. I upload every other Friday and we have fun here. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Thrifted.
Look like I'm wearing a diaper. A little baby romper. Don't care, it's hot out, okay?